Hello, I'm Jane Baker with the Spokane County Library District. I am taking over hosting duties for SCLD's Library Out Loud for Aaron this week. I sat down with Executive Director Patrick Rowe to discuss the library's levy proposition that is on the August ballot. We had a great discussion and some great information to help voters be more informed. Spokane County Library District is asking voters to consider a levy measure to fund daily operations and maintenance for the 10 SCLD libraries during the August 2026 primary election. Joining me today is Executive Director of SCLD, Patrick Rowe, and we're going to talk about the levy today. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Jane. How's it going?
It's going well. Thanks for joining me today.
Happy to be here, yeah.
I'm glad that you are, because we have some great things to talk about with the levy. Usually you don't say great things when you're talking about a levy, but this is an important thing, and it's important for us to talk about it and let the public and their customers know what's going on. So let's talk about it.
Sure.
Why are we asking for funding now?
So our Board of Trustees, our governing body, has determined that we need additional funding to be able to offer library services and maintain our buildings for the next 5 years. So after some careful consideration, about 2 years of planning and discussion, decided to put that ballot measure before our voters on the August 4th election.
Mm-hmm. So it's very important to do it now. So the first question people ask is, well, what's this going to cost me? How much is the levy going to cost the average resident in Spokane County?
Great question. So for the average taxpayer in Spokane County Library District, you'll see an annual increase of between $40 and $55 a year, depending on the value of the property you own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's broken down by a monthly rate. You're looking at an increase of say $3 to $5 more a month.
And that's for an average home value anywhere around $350 to $450.
Correct, which is the average home value here in Spokane County Library District. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. It's been a while since we were last in a levy. How many years has it been?
So it's been 7 years. Our last levy was in 2019.
Mm-hmm. 7 years, and it seems like every few years, levies come up on the library levy. Also, fire districts and school districts. This seems to come up quite often. Why is that? Sure.
It's a kind of a normal and regular function of publicly funded entities, like you said, like schools, fire districts, library districts. It's because of how state law is structured and how state law works. So what state law requires is that a annual increase of property taxes does not exceed 1%. And so in order to maintain that year over year, the tax rate applied to a property can go down to be able to make sure that 1% increase is not exceeded. So over time, what we find is that as property values continue to grow, we only see 1% revenue increase, and we're not able to keep pace with inflation and the cost of doing business. So it's sort of an inevitability for a public entity like a library that you have to go back out to the voters, ask them to restore the property tax rate so we can continue to offer services and resources without any reduction or curtailment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds so complex. So basically, you only get so much, but you need more than that because inflation goes
right. So in our last levy, what passed in 2019, we've seen year over year a 1% increase in revenue, but in the same period of time, you've seen nearly 25% increase in inflation. So it really is a kind of a dollars and cents thing, where the cost of doing business, the cost of running the library district, our revenue is not able to match that anymore. It's inevitability, kind of a cycle that goes on, so to speak, right? So every, say, 5 to 7 years, depending on your entity, you're going back out to the voters to ask them to restore that property rate, because that revenue cap does not keep pace with the cost of offering services and resources to our communities.
Mm-hmm. So it's just the way it's set up. We just have to do it this way.
It's what the Constitution of the state of Washington says. So, yeah.
That's it. Our current levy rate, there's a lot of information. We have information in all the libraries. There's these great flyers that explain everything, and our website and other places like that. But it does say it's 33 cents per 1,000 assessed value. So how much will it go up if the levy is approved?
So it's going to go up 12 cents to 45 cents per $1,000. The statutory maximum, the legal maximum, is 50 cents per 1,000. After careful consideration, the district determined we did not need to ask for that full 50 cents. So we're only asking for the 45. And that's again a plan to get us through the next 5 years of staple funding.
So why asking less than what's allowed?
We crunched the numbers, we did the math, and we want to be reasonable in what our requests are. And based on our forecasting, we determined that we can meet the needs of the libraries, or meet the needs of our communities we serve, provide some additional enhancements to our services, do sufficient upgrades and repairs to our facilities, our brick and mortar buildings. We can do all that with only that 45 cents. So that additional 5 cents is not required.
That's great. If voters say yes, what will we get? How will the funds be used?
So it's a maintenance and operations levy. So the key thing is we're going to keep doing what we're doing, right? And that's not a real flashy message, but just an honest one. So we want to be able to maintain our buildings so they are comfortable, they're effective, they're welcoming to our customers. We want all the services we offer. We never say they're free because that's not accurate, right? We offer all these services from our summer reading programs to our audiobooks and ebook downloads, the books we check out, meeting room reservations and usage by the public. We offer all these services at no cost, and we want to keep it that way. So we want to be able to offer all this suite of services we offer as a library without additional cost passed on to the user. We want to, our buildings are aging, right? So we're in the Spokane Valley Library right now, which is just got its 3-year anniversary. Beautiful structure and great shape, but we've got buildings that are 25, 30, 40 years old. And as they age, we have major upgrade needs for roofs and HVACs, windows, stuff like that. So we've got we just had a full facility assessment completed. So we've got a 5-year plan for about $1.7 million a year in maintenance needs for our buildings, and we're also looking for some service enhancements too. So a big area of growth, a big area of use for us from our customers is our digital resources. So. Back in the day when we've been offering ebooks since 2007, which seems like a lifetime ago, right?
It does.
And at this, as the years have progressed, our digital checkouts are now the kind of the critical mass. The majority of our checkouts are all in the digital sphere. So over 50% of our checkouts are digital. Over 50% of our collection budget, the money that goes to buy the stuff people check out, either in person or digitally. More than half of that has gone to the digital stuff as well. And the challenge with that is digital materials are more expensive. So a lot of people don't know this, but it's some people, or you rightly think it's cheaper to buy a digital book, right? Because you're not paying for paper or glue or
It seems like it should be,
printed, but it's not actually. And so the way that market is structured is that you can buy, say on average, you can buy 1 digital copy for the same amount you could buy 5 physical copies. So you're just paying more per copy for our digital resources, and they're in high demand. They're very accessible, and our customers want them. We want to give it to them, and so we've determined that we'll direct a certain amount of money as well towards a permanent increase to our digital collection. A lot of folks use our Hoopla resource, right? That's with streaming books, music, movies, comics, all sorts of good stuff.
Yes.
But there's a daily cap. And so, fortunately, folks get turned away at some point during the day because we have maxed out our budgetary commitment for that day. We want to double that to extend that to make sure people get more access to those resources as well. So, again, maintenance operations being a kind of keep the buildings running, keep the lights on, but also some service enhancements for the public as well.
I do recall, Libby's a big thing that a lot of people like to check out their ebooks on. And it was in 2024 when we reached over 1 million checkouts.
Right.
And we were only one of 33 library systems worldwide to do that. Our customers do enjoy those books, so we'd love to have more of those ebooks and electronic
I think
resources.
With the district, kind of our unique geographical makeup, we have city centers and kind of city cores. We also have a lot of rural users, a lot of and folks who going to the library is a trek sometimes, right? But if you got an internet connection, you can be a fully active user of the library through our digital resources and never change out of your PJs if you don't want to. So you want to make sure we can reach those folks in our rural areas as well, and make sure they have a full complement of resources, even if getting to the library is not an easy thing for them to do.
So an approval of the levy would be both for the physical buildings and those type of things and the digital, a good balance of both.
Right, absolutely, yeah. And so, we're fully committed, of course, to our brick and mortar services, right? Our libraries are active, robust places. We had over 680,000 visitors last year. We circulated 2.2 million items. We had over 9,000 meeting room reservations. So these buildings are well used, well loved, busy, active places. So we're certainly committed to those services here in the libraries as well. And we want actually that we have what we need to be able to offer those without any reduction or loss of services too.
That's great. So approval keeps us going, adds some stuff in that our customers want, so we're being very responsive towards them. What happens if it doesn't pass, if the voters don't pass it?
So we have to then start preparing to make cuts and reductions in library services. So that means fewer open hours, potentially closing a library, reduction in resources, staffing, library programs, all the things that we offer, all the things we're known for, all things people use us for, will be things we have to look at cutting or reducing or even eliminating, which is not ideal.
Yes. And how will those kind of decisions be made? I know there's 10 libraries. Would it be cut hours at a few of them here or there, or just close one completely, or is there a methodology for that?
Yeah, there's certainly a methodology for determining that. We have a great amount of kind of user data we can analyze and make those determinations. We obviously don't want to go there, but we're prepared to if the financial situation dictates that we do. But those plans aren't set right now, but we have a methodology for applying them if and when that decision comes to us.
Yes. Anything that you would like to share with our customers, our listeners, that I didn't ask today?
I appreciate that opportunity. Actually, a couple things come to mind. So I first want to just mention that we have knowledgeable staff and resources online at www.scld.org/levy. If you want to learn more about the levy, or you're welcome to come into any of our libraries and ask questions as staff. If you'd like to learn more as well, so want to make sure we invite that sort of dialogue and let you know that our employees are here ready to answer your questions and help you make an informed decision on the election. And of course, with election date is August 4th. Ballots will start being mailed out on July 17th. So we encourage everyone to get out there and vote. And of course, as a library, one thing we always do, if you need help registering to vote, or looking for information on what's on the ballot, where he can help you with that as well.
And you can always drop your ballot at the library.
I almost forgot that. Yeah, so all of our locations have ballot drop boxes in partnership with the Spokane County Elections Office and the auditor. So you can drop your ballots at any one of our locations. Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you for joining me today and talking about the levy. And as Patrick said, remember to vote, and we'll see you next time at SCLD's Library Out Loud.